Singapore is stepping up COVID-19 testing and encouraging people to reduce social interaction. And this comes after the number of community cases spiked in the past week. From both social settings to the workplace, here are some of the new rules that will kick in. Regular testing will be ramped up and extended to more sectors, including those working in retail malls, supermarkets, delivery services and transport. The Health Ministry says that more details will be released soon. Now, for sectors where this is already in effect, like F&B establishments, personal care and gym studios, the mandatory rostered routine testing, well, that will now be once a week instead of fortnightly starting next Monday. And also to cover other sectors that don't have mandatory testing, the government will be giving out 8 ART kits per employee to companies for weekly testing of their staff over a 2-month period. And at the workplace, social gatherings will no longer be allowed starting Wednesday. Employers must keep only the minimum number of staff in the office as well, and if a worker who's been on the premises contracts COVID-19. To stop the virus from spreading further, the people are urged to cut down on non-essential activities for the next 2 weeks, and they are encouraged to keep to 1 social gathering a day. Those issued health risk warnings and alerts should also reduce social interaction for 14 days.
The government says the measures come as Singapore faces the likelihood of an exponential rise in cases. Pandemic Taskforce co-chair Lawrence Wong says the current transmission rate is concerning and has to be slowed down. Charlene Tia reports.
Beyond just the absolute number of COVID-19 cases, Singapore's latest concern is the rate at which it's spreading. Mr. Wong highlights that the reproduction rate, or R rate, of the virus here is currently more than 1, meaning that cases are doubling every week and could even reach 2,000 cases in a month. To slow it down, stricter measures will come in, such as more pervasive testing. For one, the compulsory testing regime for staff in higher risk settings will be stepped up, meaning those in F&B and gyms now need to get tested once a week compared to every fortnight. The government says this will allow for the quicker detection and ring-fencing of cases, and is particularly important given how infectious the Delta variant is. The regime is also being expanded to include more sectors such as mall workers and transport frontline staff. More details on when these measures kick in will be announced soon.
We hope that we can help to slow down transmission without having to go back to the heightened alert or the circuit breaker. As I said last week, these are last resort measures. We will try our best to refrain from using them, but we should not rule them out entirely. And if, despite our best efforts, we continue to see serious cases in ICU or needing oxygen going up sharply, then we may have no choice but to adopt a more tightened posture.
The government's key message is for everyone to cut down on social interactions, at least for the next 2 weeks. One group in particular are people who receive health risk warnings and alerts. Those who receive warnings are required to self-isolate until they get a negative test result, while those who get alerts are not subject to any requirements by law. But the government is urging them to reduce social interactions for 14 days. It's also a message for everyone, encouraging all to keep to 1 social gathering a day.
We are calling on everyone to do their part, exercise social responsibility, and in that spirit, we are asking people, scale back your non-essential social interactions. You don't have to have the mindset that you are maximizing to the limit your ability to go out, right? Because yes, you can go out to dine, but scale back during this period because every effort counts. And if all of us do our part by getting tested regularly, by scaling back interactions, we will be able to slow down the transmission.
As to why these measures were not announced at the media conference last Friday, Mr. Wong says that the task force was already thinking about these measures then, but details needed to be ironed out. And with the evolving situation of more cases and clusters each day, the task force worked faster to put the new measures in place.
Food delivery riders we spoke to say expanding routine COVID-19 testing to them will give them peace of mind, given that they frequently interact with customers. But some have expressed concern about the inconvenience.
I'm concerned in a way that it really take my time in a way for me to go for all these tests. Yeah, time consuming It
depends on the work schedule as well and how they want to do for the test also.
I feel it's a bit unnecessary. If let's say if you are vaccinated, then you still have to do this swab. Then why do we vaccinate in the first place?